Welcome. In front of me I have the Fossibot phone. I think that's how you pronounce it. And this is the F101 Pro. I have a couple informations at the back, so I'm going to quickly go over this. We have a 5.5 inch HD plus IPS display, touchscreen. I love how they added touchscreen. Like, are we expecting anything else here? Android doesn't really specify which one or whatever. Octa-core Helio P60 processor. We have 8 GB of RAM with 128 GB of storage and up to 15 GB of RAM. And now take that with a grain of salt. This is not 15 gigs of RAM. The reason it's not called 15 gigs of additional storage is because RAM is not storage. And that's basically what it's kind of doing. It's using the storage type, the NVMe or SSD, whatever you have right here, and converting that storage into RAM storage. Obviously, RAM is significantly faster in terms of read and write, and it's labeled as RAM for that specific reason. And also why you want RAM storage, not just storage as like your RAM. So anyway, just a little bit of a rant here. Never use that as your RAM. It's just absolutely redundant. And obviously this device comes with 8 GB of RAM in general, so it's not really a benefit for this device. It already has sufficient amount of RAM, I would argue. Now, continuing on, we have a 24 megapixel rear camera and 5 megapixel macro camera. Actually, interesting enough that this device comes with a 5 megapixel macro, because most devices that come with a macro lens, they just slap in a 2 megapixel and call it a day, even though it's absolutely useless. At 5 megapixel, a little bit less useless. And then front, we have an 8 megapixel front camera. Then we have dual SIM support and 10,000 milliampere battery. What? That is an absolute beast of a battery unit in here. What? Now I'm kind of curious how the actual phone looks like. I have no clue. I haven't seen this device ever. To be completely honest, I also haven't heard about the brand. So let's get to see it. Now the box has a little bit of head to it. Little foam right here. Okay, so it's a rugged device. Yoink! Ooh, yeah, that's a... Oh boy. That's a phone and a half there. Now, honestly, it looks chunkier than the weight would suggest. So the phone isn't necessarily that heavy as you would expect from a size of a device like this. So a little bit more manageable. Just kind of... To be honest, it's not much. I mean, it is heavier, but not by much over the Fold 4. So just kind of surprising. Anyway, in the box we also have a charger and a cable. So cable is a Type C to Type A, and the charger will be probably a 5 or 10 watts. Whoa, no. Actually, we got an 18 watt charger included with the device. So there we go. Hi there. We are running Android, obviously. Let's just peel that off. If I can grab it, come on. There we go. So yoink with this. Interestingly enough, we also have a screen protector pre-applied, though it's plastic, but still better than nothing. And here we have also some information, like ones that are already basically read. Anything else that wasn't listed there? Okay, there is one thing that wasn't listed at the back. We have an IP68 and IP69K waterproofing, so this device can be basically submerged into water. And we have also fingerprint and a Face ID. There we go. Now, I'm also curious what that was, and I just kind of, I guess, answered my own question. Oh, I get what this is. Is there like any other functionality? No, it doesn't look like there is. So I believe this is basically an indication to like a power bank. So because this device does have a absolutely stupid battery size at 10,600 milliamps, you can basically plug devices through Type-C cable. So just to kind of showcase this, because I believe it should work right away. Let's grab this now. Keep in mind this is a Samsung cable, so it might be iffy, so whatever will happen, I guess we'll find out. But Samsung is notorious for just making their Type-C not be compatible with some other Type-Cs. So you won't always be able to data transfer if you're not using their cable, and it's just problematic. But that's Samsung's fault, not the device right here. So anyway, if I plug it in, it should start charging. Voila, it's charging. And this, in this case, gives me additional info now, which didn't do before. Oh, I think it was just kind of slow in terms of... So it does have full usability, actually. So there we go. Anyway, that being said, there's one last thing that I want to check. Let's change the language. Now, sorry for the camera being kind of blown out. The display doesn't seem that bright. I just want to, at least not at the moment, so I want to point that out. Let me just fiddle around with my camera. Okay, there we go. Yes, it's going to be a little bit better. And we could also do this maybe. Okay, so I want to go through the setup and just see kind of what Android we are dealing with here. I assume it's going to be Android like 12 or 13, probably 13, though this is just a guess at the moment. So I want to finish this up and see what it actually has. No, not system, although, yep, it's Android 13. Now, also that being said, the device seems to be running fine. As you can see, it's not like choppy or anything at the moment. Maybe if we load it up with apps and do all that stuff, there was a little bit of a slowdown there, but in general, I'm assuming this device isn't necessarily that expensive. So probably just as a power bank price, this would already cover everything. Now, like I said, I have no idea what the actual price of this device is, so keep that in mind. So there we go. That's the device unboxing and a quick look at it. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.